Guys, welcome back to another episode, and today I'm going to tell you my exciting story getting my Wii U. And this is an incredible story. I mean, you can't make stories like this up, honestly, if you tried. This is an entertaining story, but man, it was crazy. So I'm going to put this to the side and I'm going to start telling this story because you just won't believe it. So a few months ago when pre-orders for the Wii U came out, that you could go to your local EB and put $50 down and secure one of these units for launch day, I was there. I was there first thing in the morning. I walked in, I put my money down, and I said, here to obviously pre-order the Wii U. I said, well, what number am I? Is there like a whole bunch of people ahead of me? What's going on? No, you're the very first person to pre-order. I'm like, awesome. Now, this is my local EB store, and that's important to the very first part of our story. I feel good. So I leave there, pre-order's done, don't have to worry about it till launch day, November 18th, the Sunday. 2 weeks later, I go up to Walmart, and as I'm driving past the local EB where I pre-ordered this from, I noticed that it had closed down. I had to drive up, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where's my local EB? Where is this? And it's all boarded up type of thing, and it basically says, sorry, this location has been closed. Go to this other location, so-and-so in North Delta. That's kind of a place by me. So I'm like, wow. I hope my pre-order is still okay. I'm like, well, geez. So I was worried. So the next day, I phoned up this EB that they transferred my business over to at this point, they said. So I phoned them up. I said, listen, I had all my stuff transferred over to your store. Do I still have my pre-order? They're like, absolutely, nothing to worry about. Things are great. So now, a month and a bit goes by. It is the Friday before the Sunday when it gets released. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go down to that EB and I'm going to, pay off all my stuff and just find out, some of the details of what time I should be there in the morning to pick up the machine and all that kinds of stuff. So after work, I drive all the way down to Delta, as it's called, and I walk in there, and I walk up to the counter. I said, oh, here, and I pull out my receipts here. I said, I'm here to, just to pay off everything for the Wii U, and they're like, oh, no, actually, you've been, transferred over to another store that's like way down the road. And I'm like, I didn't even know there was another store down the road. I'm like, okay. They're like, yeah, we can't do anything for you here. I'm like, okay. Get back in the truck, drive to the other store. No problem. Walk in the door. I go up to the counter, talk to the guy who's working. And I'm like, yeah. I said, I pre-ordered my Wii, my Wii U, this so-and-so store, the first store. And I said, everything's good, right? And he's like, oh yeah, for sure. He's like, I said, yeah, I just want to, pay off everything. Oh, okay, sure. So we pay off everything in the system. Very important to the story as well. All the games, everything. I'm like, okay, done. So I'm like, okay, so when on Sunday, I said, what time should I come in at? And he's like, oh, you should come in, as early as you possibly can. I'm like, oh yeah, well, I said, I don't really have to worry that much. I said, I got, I'm pre-ordered, right? So he's like, well, technically, not really. I'm like, what? And this is where my brain couldn't fathom what he was saying. I said, what do you mean? Maybe I'll get a unit type of thing. He's like, well, we have our pre-orders for our store, and your pre-orders from your stuff that got transferred is underneath that. So we hope we have enough units for everybody. And I'm just like, I was speechless. I was so pissed off. I was so angry. I was speechless because I knew I would lose my mind if I opened my mouth anymore. I'm like, it didn't sink in until I got into the car. I'm like, oh, okay. I get into the car and I just like, what the fuck, man? What the hell's going on? I fucking pre-ordered this. What do you mean I might not get a unit? This doesn't make any fucking sense to me. This story gets better. It does. So I'm ranting in my car, driving home. I'm just pissed. Just so pissed. So, as the guy told me before I left, he says, phone tomorrow. He says, no, we'll phone you tomorrow if you don't have a unit. So we're going to call everybody who we don't have. We're going to find out how many we have and all the rest of the people we're going to call. So he says, if you don't get a call, it's good. Okay. Saturday comes. I'm pacing around on Saturday. And I've got this bad feeling. I'm like, I really better get a unit. And I'm like, what if they call me at like later at night? Like, I won't have any chance of doing any of the plans to get this unit or whatever. So I said to Kim, I said, what should I do? Like, she said, you should phone them up. I'm like, I said, I'm so angry. I was so angry. I said, can you just phone for me? I said, because if I might get into a crazy kind of thing. I don't want to do that. I said, if you want to handle it for me. So she phones up. And she's like, yeah, I'm phoning for Johnny and blah, blah, blah. He ordered this unit and, this Wii U Deluxe and all that. And then I hear her say this. Oh, what do you mean he canceled his pre-order? No, he didn't cancel his pre-order. He came on Friday. This is true. I'm like, what do you mean they're fucking saying I canceled my pre-order? No, he didn't cancel his pre-order. And she's on the phone. And she's like, well, what can you do about it? He's like, and I guess the person on the other end is like, well, I don't know if we can do anything. And I just grabbed the phone. I'm like, seriously, I said, what the fuck is going on? I pre-ordered this unit. What do you mean I did not cancel my pre-order. So what ends up happening is when I went in on that Friday and I paid off everything, the guy canceled my pre-order. He canceled it in the system. So my pre-order gets fucking canceled. So like, yeah, we don't know, what we can do. I said, I'm like, how is this my fault? I said, you can tell. I said, I came in. Yeah, of course you wouldn't come in and cancel your pre-order. That wouldn't make any sense. I said, exactly. I said, and pay everything off. That doesn't make any sense. He's like, yeah. He's like, well, we don't know what we can do. I said, I'll be there at 9 in the morning. He's like, okay, well, we'll figure it out. I said, okay. Now, this is the bit that is good. I went down in the morning, 9 o'clock, and I was the first few people in the lineup. I get in, and the store manager, who was absolutely awesome, that has to be pointed out, went up the night before. He got my pre-order stuff. He saw everything, and he's like, yeah. He's like, he drove 4 hours to get another 2 units to fulfill their orders in the store. That was a big move, and that was very cool. And I can't say enough about that manager. He was a very commendable person for doing that. That was turning from the worst EB story to a great EB story for him personally. It was what a great guy. So anyways, in the end of the day, is I was able to get the unit, and I was having a party that day, and I invited a bunch of my friends over, and if you want to know what I thought about the Wii U, I thought it was awesome. I had a lot of fun with it, and maybe I'll just do a separate video on that, but I had to talk about this, but the story's not over yet. You would think that would be it. I get this, I go home, set it up, have fun with my friends. I did that until I got my credit card bill. I got my credit card bill, and I'm looking, and I'm like, Why is this so expensive? What's going on here? Like, this was a lot of money. They double charged me for the Wii U. Yeah, on top of all that craziness that I already have, they double charged me for the Wii U. I was just like... So I went back to that EB, and the person working there couldn't do anything for me because the manager wasn't there. So I had to drive home and the next day drive back out again. And it took them an hour to figure out what had happened. They couldn't figure it out. It was a very complicated thing within the system. They'd canceled my order and paid for this, and even I'm still confused by it. But they double charged me for the Wii U, the machine, and that morning was so kind of crazy getting there and all of that. I didn't even realize until I got my bill. I was like, "What's going on?" But took them about an hour to figure it out. We finally figured it out, and I was on my way. But I am telling you, like, pre-ordering from EB for me. Oh, I'm not done. There's one more bit to the story. So we figure it all out. Everything's good, and there's another guy working there, and he turns to me. He's a younger guy. He's like, "Oh, I hope this hasn't soured your experience with EB." And I'm like, Yeah. You know, I couldn't even say anything. And he's like, yeah. And then he starts bashing the Wii U. You know, it's a brand new machine I bought. I'm not saying it's perfect in every regard. I'm not saying that. But I had gone through such an ordeal as a customer. And then he starts bashing my machine going, yeah, I heard the load times are terrible and there's hardly any games and this thing sucks and that sucks. And I'm just like, are you seriously still going off here after all of what I kind of dealt with? You're insulting me now as, you know, after we've already dealt with this. Anyways, I'm a very calm person. I wasn't through all of this. I'll be honest with you. I was a raving lunatic through this whole process, but I kept it all away from the EB employees, obviously, because I'm not going to take it out on them. Like, as I say, that store manager did a great thing and helped me get that unit, like, so, you know, he did an amazing thing for me. But what an experience. It was a terrible EB experience for me. And isn't it funny we all have these EB experiences that are just surreal? Like that was a surreal story. And I was funny when I was coming to make this video. I'm like, I hope I can remember everything to tell this story because it's so crazy. And I thought to myself, I got to do a video about it because it is so outrageous. And it's kind of humorous in how kind of everything that could go wrong with this pre-order went wrong. And so, I don't know, hopefully your Wii U launches were a little bit easier than mine, but it made for a very memorable launch, the most memorable launch that I'll probably ever have for a Nintendo console. I remember back in the day, you just go, Super Nintendo, thank you, and you just bought it. And it was very, very simple. Nowadays, things got a lot more complicated with pre-ordering and stuff like that. What are you guys' experience with pre-ordering games from EB or Best Buy? I've heard a lot of mixed stories from a lot of people. Man, EB, damn it. God damn it. That was a crazy one. So I'm going to end the video. Until next time, guys.